Hey everyone, hope you are doing awesome. Welcome back to my channel Pega with another video. Thanks everyone for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't hit the bell icon yet, please do so you won't miss any of my videos. Today we are going to learn some more concept about activity. I have planned and further subdivided the activity intermediate video into two parts. Part 2.1 will teach you how to deal with page property and some new method in activity. And part 2.2 would teach you how to deal with page list property. Today we are going to continue discussing about activity intermediate part 2.1 video as planned. My idea is to make you guys confident in activity by teaching you step by step and slowly. Before watching this video, I would strongly suggest you to watch my activity introduction and activity part 1 video wherein I have explained the concept and showed some hands-on. So without doing further delay, let's get into it. So first thing first, let's go ahead and log into the portal. So I just wanted to recap on what we have learned in activity beginner version. So basically, if you remember in the activity beginner version, we have actually taken a use case of the math function wherein we had two integer, and based on that particular input and based on what you choose in the math type function, depending on that, those two numbers will be added, subtracted, divided, or multiplied. So what happened is basically, if you remember, we only dealt with a single simple type of property, integer or text property. Now, as part of this activity intermediate, we are going to deal with the page property and pages property, and we are obviously going to understand a little advanced version, right? Now, what I thought, I think that this will be the best use case where I have got this personal address. If you remember, this is what I have explained in data transform part 2 video. So when I give this personal address detail, and if I check this box is personal address same as billing, that means obviously my billing address is going to be filled. So people who are new to this video, I will probably put a link on the description box for you guys to review of my data transform 2 video, so that you would understand if you do not know how to create section and all that detail. But if you are aware, then yeah, let's start now. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to click on the live UI. I'm going to go to the section, that particular section. Now this is the section which we have created, right? Now if this is where I have actually called an action and event. So is personal same as billing address. I have called an event as change and action as a refresh this section. And in the action, I have actually called up a data transform, which depending on the condition, we actually set the billing address. And if it is otherwise condition, we remove this billing address. That's what we had done as part of the data transform topic, right? Now for activity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this one first, and I'm going to create an activity, right? So now in the refresh section, as you could see, there are two sections. One is data transform, another one is activity. Now if so now I'm going to create a new activity by clicking on this crosshair. Now once I click on this crosshair, so it will allow me to click a new activity. We will go ahead with the default option. I'll go ahead and create and open. And so what I'll do is, just to make sure my changes are saved, I'll just save it here, and also I'll come here and do a submit and save it. So just to make sure my changes are saved. So now let's understand how we are going to work on the activity. Now if I go back to the use case again, so what I'm doing is, if this checkbox is true, that's where I'm going to copy the data from personal address and going to set to the billing address, right? Now when I say if, that means what is this? This is a condition, right? Now the condition is nothing but a when condition. Now when I'll enable the condition, first I'll I'll go to the build an expression, and there I will put that condition. Now what is the condition? Now here my property is personal address same as billing, personal same as billing. Now if it is true, equal to true, that means what I'll do is, if it is true, then what I'll do is I'll continue when. If it is false, then I'll skip step, right? I don't want this to be executed, because that's where I'm going to set the personal address to billing address. But I just wanted to again kind of highlight this one, guys. In the actual world, please make sure you're creating a when rule. This is just to make my video short. I'm not creating a when rule, but in actual world, it's always good practice to create a when rule. Do not write the expression here, because it's going to be very hard for your lead or for yourself also to trace back when you wanted to again enhance the feature. Right now, I'll submit it. Now, what I'm going to do is here, basically, I'm going to do a simple property set, nothing rocket science, simple property set. Now, in property name, I'll have billing address. In property value, I'll have personal address. That's why the value of personal address will be set to the value of billing address. Now, to refer a simple data type or simple property, I will simply say date of birth. That's it, because date of birth is a simple property. But to refer a page property, what I need to do is I need to choose first the page address. In this scenario, it is billing address dot, that's the internal property, line 1 and line 2, like that. So line 1. So just to show again how does this property look like for people who forgot or new to this video. So basically, I have got a billing address which is a page property which has got line 1, line 2, city, postcode, state and country. Similarly, I've got a personal address which has got line 1, line 2, postcode, city, country, state, right? So I have got this kind of setting. Now in this setting, so what I'm going to do is, now property name is billing address dot line 1. Then here what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it from the personal address dot line 1. So the value would be personal address dot line 1. I'm going to get the value of personal address dot line 1 and going to set in billing address dot line 1. Similarly, let me go ahead and set line 2. So here also what I'm going to do is I'm going to set line 2 from personal address dot line 2 value, right? I'll just quickly set the other line 1, line 2, that's a city, right? Billing address, then postcode, billing address, then country, and billing address dot state, billing address dot state. So here I'm going to get the same value, personal address dot city. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have entered it. Okay, here personal address dot postcode dot personal address dot state. Now dot personal address dot country. So that means I have set the value. Now I'll do checkout. I'll do a save. What I'm going to do is I'll just close this one. I'll just create another one, another case one. Before that, I will turn on the tracer as always, so that I'll show you guys, right? Now I'll just pause it for a while, click save and run. Okay. So here what we did, based on this condition, what will happen is personal address values are going to set to billing address. That's what I have written. Okay. Now here what I'll do is I'll give here line 1, let's say line 1 as line 1, line 2, city, state, postcode, country, right? Now here I'll just clear this one and play again. So here the moment I click on this, ideally what should happen, I should my activity should get called, and then all this blank value should be filled with whatever I have entered here. See the magic? So all this blank value has been set. There is nothing magic about it. It's just we have called the activity where we have set manually. So here if you see, I've done a property set. Now my condition, if you see, personal address same as billing address true, my condition became true here, right? That's why what happened is my property set has been successful. Now if I click on py work page at this point, that means I will have the same details in both billing address. See, all the detail I have got in billing address, also I have got the same detail in the personal address, right? All clear? Any doubt about it? No, right? I guess it's all clear. Now, so this is one way of writing the code. Here I'm going to teach you multiple way, right? Not just one way, because this is what crucial. You need to understand what's the best way to write the code. This you can do easily, all good, but you need to understand also how the step page we can change, right? Now let's understand before I show you the second way. What I did is I've opened the clipboard. Now clipboard, there are so you go to this case and then try to open this clipboard, or you can change from this thread section, whatever you like. So now I went to this case, I try to open this clipboard. Now here if you see, I have the detail in personal address, I have the detail in the billing address, right? Let me see in the background whether my tracer is on or not, just to make sure. So it is good, great. So I have the detail in the billing address, I have the detail in the personal address. That means if I go to the clipboard, if I expand POI workpage, can you see that I have got a section page property called billing address, which has got city, country, line 1, line 2, postcode, this one. I've also got a personal address which has got city, country, line 1, line 2, postcode and state. So if you see, they both are in the same level, right? Now, if I click on personal address, what it shows? It shows py workplace dot personal address. Then it shows just the value, right? Now, if I click on billing address, what it shows? It shows py workplace dot billing address, then the value, right? That so what I meant over here is, now if we see the run activity, right? So what is the default step page? The default step page, this is the step page, right? The default step page is py workplace, right? Now, let's say here what we are doing is we are going to put this billing address, we are going to put this personal address value into the billing address. Now, if I go to this one, if in the step page, because the default one in py work page, if I click on dot, it will give me all the option that has got, that has got the property in the work class. So basically it give me all the option. Now here, what you can do is, instead of writing billing address dot line 1 billing address dot line 2 blah blah blah, you can actually change the context by choosing a billing address in the step page. The moment you change the context, put the billing address in the step page, what is going to happen? What I'm going to do is, let me save it so that you'll see the error to understand. So if I save it, everywhere you'll find error, right? It's like, you're playing holy in red color, right? Okay, so okay, now why there is an error? So if I hover around, so what say property xyz pega data hyphen address dot billing address is undefined. What does it mean? So let me click here. So let me put a dot here. So if you see the dot, can you see the class here? Earlier, if you remember, when I put a billing address, the class was xyz hyphen pz hyphen work hyphen customer. Now the class context is changed to xyz hyphen pz hyphen data hyphen address, isn't it? Now why? Because you have changed the step page to billing address. Now if you see billing address, if I click on this billing address property, now billing address has got a page definition called xyz pz hyphen data hyphen address. That's the reason why your class context has changed to xyz pz hyphen data hyphen address. All these property are belong to billing address. Even if you put here in the property value, all this property is going to be belongs to billing address. Remember this one, right? Now what you need to do is, you just need to write dot line 1. That means automatically it's as good as billing address dot line 1. So you don't need to have the effort of writing each and every line by giving billing address at the front. I hope this is clear. Now what I'm going to do is, that means, okay, before that, if I write here personal address, right? Now personal address also, if I go personal address, that class also refer to xyzpz data address. So that means if I put here dot, that means automatically city, country, line 1, line 2, postcode, state, all this property now belongs to a personal address one. That means in the clipboard, if I go to clipboard, if I go open the this one, so if I put city, country, address, line 1, line 2, that means I can access all these values of personal address, because my step page is personal address. Now on the, when I put billing address, so if I go to billing address, that means all the value that I'm going to access is from the billing address. This is very crucial as a fresher, or even when you are new to Pega. It is very important that you understand this context change. That's why I took some time to make sure you understand this one. I just don't want to just tell you, okay, you put billing address, you put line 1, line 2, like that. So okay, now it is clear. So what I'm going to do is, so if I save, okay, now if I save it, obviously everywhere you will get error. Now let me see, if I get rid of this one, what is happening? So that means technically this entire area, the error should have gone. Now I'll click on save, right? All the error gone. That means you are telling, okay, my property name is billing address dot line 1, billing address dot line 2, blah blah blah. But why there is an error in the right hand side, and there is also an error over here? I'll tell you why there is an error, right? Because then if you see the last one in this error, it says that property xyz hyphen pz hyphen data hyphen address dot personal is same is undefined. Why? Because all this property that we have used, this one and also in the when condition, right? They belongs to this work class, right? Now, but billing, when I put billing address, what happened is the context now changed. Now the context is belongs to the data class, right? Now, how I can use this property then? So there is something called primary concept in Pega. So what does primary means? Primary means, let me just see here, show you here. So what did I tell? Now my context is changing to, let me open a notepad. Now my context is changing to py work page, right? Dot billing address, right? Now here, if I write primary and put a dot, that means I could able to access all the property that is there in the py workplace. Let's say in another scenario where I have got this billing address, and let's say in the billing address there is another page inside. Let's say address. Now at this point, if I do a primary here and put a dot, that means I could able to access all the property that is there in the billing address. So this is what primary is all about. I'm going to definitely create another video to explaining about what is primary and what is top. It'll be a very short video, but I just wanted to create a separate video. But just for the time being, you understand what is primary and how we're going to use it. Now, if you understand this one, so now to and this personal address is sitting in work hyphen customer, which is going to be my py workpage, right? So what I need to do is to access this property. I need to do see first. So let me add another entry here. Okay, you need to write this primary in this way. The moment if you see I put a dot, right? What you are saying, you are getting xyz hyphen pg hut hyphen work hyphen customer. If you just put a dot, what you are getting xyz hyphen pg hut hyphen data hyphen address. Can you see what primary does? Because the primary is py workplace. Now you're changing the context billing address. That's why if you put a primary, now primary dot, that means again I can able to access all the property that is belongs to the customer class, right? xyz hyphen pg hut hyphen work hyphen customer. So that means to avoid this error, let me delete this. To avoid these errors, right, what you need to do is you need to put primary in front. So if I put again primary, see if you see now primary dot personal address dot line 1 is coming. So everywhere you need to put primary. So that way Pega would understand, okay, you are going to use the property of a primary class, and in this session, in this scenario, the primary class is nothing but our work class, because from there only we change the content. Now if I save it, all the error would be gone. Apart from this one, why? Because it has also got a property that belongs to work class. So if you want to use that property, you need to put a primary here, right? Now if you submit here, now save it, everything is gone. It looks really good, isn't it? Now this is how, this is another way where you can do the same thing. Now let's go and see if it works. And if it works, then well and good. So what I'll do is I'll turn on the tracer. I'll clear this. I will, what I'll do is let me quickly create another one just to make sure I have got things right. Now customer, save and run. Right now here I'll say let's say test line 2 or something, city, state, postcode, number, country, India. Right now if I say each person, okay, let me play the tracer. If I click on, can you see everything is copied? Now if I go back to the tracer just to show you whether it works or not, so you see now py workplace, this property has been set. Now can you see the difference? Earlier, if you remember, if you don't remember, just go rewind back and see the tracer that I have shown. My step page was py workplace, right? Now my step page, after I put billing address here, my step page has changed to py workplace dot billing address. Now when I use primary, that means it used the property of py workplace. So this is how the primary works in Pega. I hope this is clear. Now let's go ahead and finish all the other. So the other thing, that means if I uncheck, what should happen? This should be deleted, right? Now if I uncheck, that means what does it mean? I will simply put another when condition. Again, I'll simply, okay. Now, in the when condition, let me first show you how to do it, right? First thing first. So if I put a when condition, enable this condition, I'll say dot personal address is false, right? Equal to false. If to continue when, if false, skip step. Now here, okay, now here, this billing address, is it a page property? Yes, right? So to remove a page property in Pega, in activity, what you need to do is, you shouldn't be doing a property set and you shouldn't be getting rid of one by one. Okay. Instead, there is something called page remove, right? There is a method called page remove. If you use this one, so there are two ways that you can do. You can either click the page here, or you can also click the page here. So automatically what Pega would do, Pega would remove that page. So let us see by putting in both the places and see what is happening. So let me put a billing. Now here, which page we want to remove? We want to remove the billing address, the on click of this one, right? Now is billing address? Yes, I will do a save here. Page remove billing address on condition of this one. Now, if you see, because I put a step page here, what will happen? This will give me an error, right? Why? Because I need to use primary, correct? Now, I hope you understand. Now, I have to use primary, right? Now, let me submit and save it. Now, let me use the same thing. If I click on billing address, it is going to be there, okay? It was already there. Now, if I uncheck, I played the tracer. If I uncheck, can you see this billing address is gone? Now why? Because if you see the address, what happened is okay, let me pause it. So what happened is, it goes to the first step where primary personal address same as billing true. It says skip step, right? Because it is false. No, it's not true. It is false. And because it false, what happened is the page remove has triggered, and this this billing address has been completely removed from the clipboard. How do you know? There are two way you can know. One first way is, you can go to clipboard, okay, and then go to py workspace for that particular thread, which is my case ID here, C5003. We are in the same thread. Go to clipboard, you will see there is no billing address. We have got only personal address. If you wanted to see in the tracer, what you can do, what you can see here, if you see, if I go up to this point, this is where the page remove called, right? Up to this point, if I open, you see this billing address is there, right? And if I open py workpage at this point on the starting, you will see a billing address would be there, right? Now billing address there in the py workpage, isn't it? Can you see that? Okay. Now if I go at the end, after this activity end, right here, if I go, you will see there is no billing address. That's how you're gonna see the billing address has been removed. Can you see this billing address has gone from this py workpage? That's how you would see the billing address gone. But there is another slight problem. What happened? You remember last time I told you in my data transform part 2, if you remove the page, because it's gone from clipboard, that means there is no initialization, right? So we need to initialize the page, right? Okay, before that, I would just like to show you another way, right? Now putting a billing address here or putting a billing address here, they both are same. So here also you can put a billing address page, and here you can save it. Now it will not give error. So you okay, now because here you are not putting the step page, you are not changing the context, you are you are putting over here, right? That means this, when Pega would come here in this particular step, that the context of Pega would not change. It will still be in py workpage. Because it's in py workpage, that means it can access all the property that is there in that particular class. That's why you write primary or you do not write primary, they both are same. Now if I save it, it won't give me any error. Can you see that? Earlier, because I was changing the context, it was giving me error. Now because I haven't changed the context, I have removed the page inside of that. That means my context is still py workpage when this step 2 is going to be executed. So that's why I don't need to put a primary here. Now I'll do a save, and then I'll just do a do the same run here. I'll say is billing address same as personal address. Yes, everything came. And so if you see, if I play, just to show you guys clipboard, if uncheck, it is gone, right? Now if you see here, now can you see? So if you see primary personal address same as billing true, it is during that time during that time my page context is billing address. That's why it is py workpage dot billing address. But after that, my again I didn't put any step page. That's why my page context is py workpage back to normal, because I'm not changing that context. So every step, depending on what you mention in the step page, it is going to change the context here. Now that is why it back to normal and remove the page. It works in the same manner, right? Now, if you remember, last time I told why this is blank, because the page has been removed from the clipboard. We need to add them back, right? Now, when how I need to add them back means I need to initialize. So here I'm going to show you two ways that you can initialize a page. Let's say if I wanted to directly initialize a page in the clipboard itself. So what I should do, I should enter here. Now here, what I need to do is there is something called page new, right? Page new. So basically what I'm doing is in the page new, or simply what you can do is just put a billing address here. So basically what we did, we I mean, if I read this steps properly, if my personal address same as billing address true, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this property, right? Else what I'm going to do is, if my personal address billing is true, yeah, I'm going to set the property, else I need to skip the step. Now here, if my personal address set as billing, right, is false, then I'm going to remove this property, and also I'm going to create a I'm going to initialize the page. So page new is nothing but a function which helps you to create a new page in the clipboard. Depending on what you can, obviously, give a data transform if you wanted to set some values there, or you wanted to change this particular property to a new class during runtime, you can do that also over here. So here my idea is to just simply initialize the page. So I'm going to do it here. But before that, what I wanted to do is I wanted to exit the activity if this is been executed, right? So here, if you remember, we will put a jump condition, and here if I say step status is good, which I have explained you in my last session, I'm going to what? I'm going to exit activity, else continue when. If step status is good, I'm going to exit the activity, else continue when. So what will happen? It will be good, then means it will execute, it won't do anything. If it is not going to be executed, then it will go here, and because I want both 2 and 3 to be done at the same time. That's the reason, and one to be done at the other time. That's the reason I have to write the code in this way. Now if I save it, now if I go here, if I click on personal address billing address, you see this test address is coming. Now if I get rid of it, can you see now the blank is coming? I hope this is clear. The second way is, if you want to initialize this in a data transform and calling a data transform from an activity. So if you would have seen my data transform part 2 video, then what we had done is we have created a data transform here. Is called initialize page. Now in that initialize page, basically I have just called update page billing address, and I put a comment here. This is just to initialize page, right? Now I can show you how to call a data transform from an activity. This is just to teach you another method and show another way that you can initialize. Now for this one, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment this one. Here there is a method called apply data transform. Now, the moment you put that apply data transform, it would expect you to, give a data transform reference. Now here, I'm going to call initialize page. So basically here, you don't need to change any context. It has to be in py workpage context, right? Because the initialize page in the xyz dot hyphen pz hut hyphen work hyphen customer class. Now, if I save it, right, now what will happen is, basically in the first step, again, when I click on yes, the checkbox, then this will be executed, and then it will go to jump condition, it will exit the activity. When I click on no, it will skip this step, then it will go to step number 2. It will first remove the page, and then it calls the apply data transform, initialize the page, and that's how you're gonna see the billing address to be there on the screen. So if I go and see here, let me turn on the tracer first. Okay, let me turn on the tracer. So here, if I go, if I uncheck, then you see what happened if I uncheck. So can you see that because I have unchecked it, so the second step in over here is true. Personal address same as billing false, yes, so it became true. and that's where the data transform has been called. The data transform has been executed, and then it finished, and then that's how this initialization is happened. And if I check it, then all the things will come. So this is another way I wanted to show you guys on how you can call a data transform from an activity. The whole idea is to teach you some of the method as and when I work, so that again, like I told, you can start with some methods, and then slowly you will learn each and every method, right? So I hope this is clear, and you got to know how to use the base property in multiple way. So I would always suggest you go ahead with this approach. Why? Because I mean, obviously, you have to be very careful when you're changing the context. Why? Because you don't need to write, the billing address again and again unnecessarily. So it's up to you. Whatever you feel comfortable. There are both ways that you can do it. That's it for today. Hope you are clear. The next video we will learn about how to deal with pages property and some more advanced concepts about activity. So stay tuned. Please hit the like button if you learned something from this video or you like the way I have explained. And leave me a comment if you have any queries or feedback for me. That is going to motivate me for sure to post more videos. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and click on the bell notification for my new video updates. Like I tell always, sharing is caring. So do share with others so people who do not know about my channel will be benefited. See you in next video. Thanks everyone.